फिर से लिए चलते हैं सीधे अमेठी यूनिवर्सिटी नोएडा.
Industry is hyper competitive, so you have to be very so what is the currency here? The currency is fast. You have speed. You have to be fast. One has to be fast, whether it be it the organization or institution or the gig worker itself. You have to be fast, adaptive in terms of learning your skill sets. Now with the your question was also pertaining to the recent introduction in the budget, right? Budget. So I would see it as a formal acknowledgement of the economy, because this economy has been here. It is not something new. It's just the government is now more accepting. It's more acceptance by the government itself, a formal acknowledgement, and it's the first, I would say, the tiny steps from the policy or the government policy point of view that hey, we are this Indian Institute of Creative IICT and NID is being established. So what does it tell us? What does it translate into now when we are looking at for all of us who are sitting here? So this translates into that hey, we got to learn what Harsh started with. It's not that horizontal expansion that I need to learn 10 skills at the same time. I need to learn 2 skills. I know them perfectly fine. And again, it's everyday learning. Once you are inside the gig economy, it's everyday learning. You are learning. Everything is interdependent. And so you got to learn. I mean, it's almost 15 years, I would say, in my little journey. So I've been, every day is a new learning. So it never stops, so you got to be fast and adaptive in terms of learning the new skill sets. So that's, I believe. And
Thank you, sir.
So if I have to add to what Sonal said, just focus on 4 words. Forget about competition. Competition always exists in some form or other. Sometimes it increase, sometimes it decrease, depending on market conditions. 4 words which are critical from a gig perspective: clarity in terms you are sure you want to do a freelance, competence, depth, which I have talked about. So clarity, what you want to pursue; competence is the depth you will have for your area. The 2, so these are the hard-coded part which you can't avoid. Beyond, if you don't have this, you can't succeed. And it's not gig; it's all across, whether you join any profession. Second comes the softer 2 aspects. Character to deal with people. Now whether you are managing a team or managing your own business, so you have to manage the customer and yourself. So character becomes important in terms of how you deal with people. And lastly is communication. How you communicate your competence in the language of the customer or in the language of the team who will operate for you. So these 4 words, if you will bring a balance, you will succeed.
Got it, sir.
Any more questions? There. Can we have the mic there? She has a question.
My question is to Mr. Naveen, sir. Being the largest among the big 4, whether it be in the revenue or the workforce, how does Deloitte India view the role of gig economy or freelancers in your human capital strategy?
So I think at the core, the whole structure will be kind of twisted upside down. So more experts, even the way we would like to go forward in terms of staffing our projects would be more in terms of, can we get people on board, quick bursts, 6-month assignments, and can they again be rotated in some other engagements with the client. Instead of having one person just working on one particular field, the idea is to keep leveraging experts across. And you would also see there's a lot of movement that has started happening from consulting to industry. So experts are already being picked up by industries, right? So for us who are into serving clients, it becomes more important to get those experts who can have that parallel conversation with the client side. So more, I would say. Today, hardly we would be talking about 15% in the mix. Easily it would be around 40% in next 5 years, for sure.
So I would conclude now, and thanks a lot for all the panelists for giving us their valuable inputs and suggestions. So how I see this is, which is sustainable innovation in the gig economy, first is the concept of self. Because we ourselves are gig workers. So first comes accountability that we need to take, and that comes from absolute clarity. What we want to do, even if we want to target say 2, 3, 4 industries, we need to figure it out accordingly, work on it accordingly, and then comes the pay parity. So while say someone is going and pitching themselves as a host, then they should know what is the kind of money which is there in the industry and where they are positioning themselves. So that's highly important. The knowledge of self is the first thing, then comes the pay. So a gig worker should ask for it. Rather than being dependent on the system and compliances, we'll come to that, because in few cases you cannot break that system. But in a lot of cases you can break that system, especially if there is a person who is a gig worker based on his or her skill. So here those kind of things could be set. Then we come to the system, where a lot of compliances are there. Say there are few people who are working for Zomato. They are cab drivers, and they are doing such kind of activities. Here there are few systems which have already been set by the government.